Bungie is quite an old game developer, dating back to the early 90s, best known of course for making the Halo FPS franchise. After the studio split from Microsoft in 2007, it's been almost entirely focused on Destiny, another big sci-fi FPS series published by Activision. But it sounds like the company now has its sights on making a new game.
Bungie, the AAA developer best known for repeatedly pissing off the fans that can't stop playing their game, has just signed a pretty big deal. Chinese publisher NetEase has announced a $100 million deal with the company, giving them a minority stake in the Washington-based studio and a seat on the board of directors. The move undoubtedly means Bungie will be bringing its games to the Chinese market in future, despite the fact that Bungie says that's not what the deal is about. But what's really interesting is the wording Bungie used in the announcement of this big investment deal. The studio says it wants to become a global multi-franchise entertainment studio, which this deal should help them achieve. Announcing the deal, NetEase said that Bungie's founder and chief creative officer Jason Jones will begin the creation of new worlds, while Bungie CEO Pete Parsons also confirmed that fact. Parsons also acknowledged that up until now, Bungie has been almost entirely focused on building Destiny.
Destiny has been a massive game on the console shooter landscape over the last few years, but it's also been sort of a slowly unfolding PR disaster for Bungie. The studio has been focused on the MMO-like FPS for years, but has struggled to keep fans happy with complaints about everything, from a lack of content in the endgame to lackluster expansions and a not too popular in-game microtransaction store. When Destiny 1 was still to be released, Bungie was famously talking up a 10-year plan for the game. So the fact the studio has just signed a $100 million deal with a Chinese company and is now beginning the creation of new worlds might sound a bit alarming to dedicated Destiny fans. However, the new deal has no impact whatsoever on the company's existing deal with Activision on the Destiny franchise. CEO Pete Parsons said, quote, "We have a great partner already in Activision. Activision is an amazing partner, has been an amazing partner, and remains an amazing partner for us." Sounds a little bit like they've got a gun to their head there. Activision is amazing. The quote goes on, "Destiny has been a fantastic experience for both groups." And NetEase strategic investment and partnership boss Simon Zhu added, "NetEase loves to bring the world's best content to players in China and would be honoured to include Bungie's games as part of that effort. As far as Destiny 2 is concerned, while we are huge fans of the title and would love to bring it to China, that decision is ultimately Bungie and Activision Blizzard's." This is big news because Bungie really want to push out and develop what they actually are. They want to go into independent publishing is another big takeaway from this announcement, and the fact they want to be a multi-franchise entertainment company means they want, assumingly, they want to keep Destiny going, keep working on that game, keep making sequels for it, but try and do something else as well and develop another kind of IP in a different genre maybe, because they've been doing shooters since Halo, since the original Xbox now, so maybe they want to try to do something different like Guerrilla Games did. They went from the FPS series Killzone to do something completely different, open world action RPG. So Bungie's got a long history and I'm interested to see what they've got to do, but I wonder how Destiny fans are going to take this news.
Yeah, obviously Destiny players will be a bit worried. The fact that Bungie is saying that they're going to work on some new IP, assumedly new IPs. But with $100 million, you can do a lot with $100 million, Mike. Yeah. I'm sure they can afford ramp up a new development team. Bungie say a lot of things, don't they? They say 10 years, and that's that wasn't 10 years. It was like a year and a half before. But was it a year and a half? It was very short. It wasn't 10 years anyway. Then Destiny 2 came out. NetEase were the 6th most profitable or the most grossing company in the industry last year. Around about there, 6th or 7th, something like that. Primarily focused on the Chinese market. They're known for having been sued by PUBG for ripping mobile clones, like Knives Out and a Survival something or other.
That's probably what it's called. Do you know what? If a game was called Survival something or other, that'd really stand out to me. Just like the least generic one I've heard in ages.
Yeah, so NetEase are actually a huge player in the industry, whether you know that or not. And so the fact that they've made a huge investment here, it looks like Bungie are trying to disassociate themselves with Activision a little bit, although they do insist that they are an amazing partner.
4 times.
Amazing partner. It just seems like they want to grow, like Mike said, grow and evolve into something more than what they are, just like a subsidiary.
Crucially.
Because it seems like Destiny maybe isn't working out the way that they'd planned because of the 10-year thing. You know?
Well, yeah, they've been under a publisher since the early 2000s. They've been under Microsoft for years and years making Halo, now they're under Activision making Destiny. Maybe they feel like they're kind of locked into these super franchises that are worth loads of money. Maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe they want to try to do some different stuff, and it's no wonder they want to be independent, I think, after they've been doing this same type of game for a long time, so they want to try and, I'm assuming, they want to try and do something a bit different, and they've just been given $100 million from a Chinese company who do mobile games and all these other different, and that's what they were talking about a lot in the announcement. This company, NetEase, have got expertise in a lot of different places to Bungie, so that's what they're kind of excited about. So big news.
They're talking about incubating ideas as well, so they might not have a solid idea what they're going forward with in future, but they're just going to try and experiment it seems like, which is great, and it might be good news for, just put it out there, Cliff Blazinski's out of a job. I mean, he does his multiplayer online shooters, doesn't he? I mean, just a thought. I'm going to try and get him a job, Mike. I mean, poor Cliff. Nobody else will feel sorry for him, but I mean, one way or another, I'm going to get Cliff Blazinski a job. Hashtag job for Cliff.
Are you a Destiny fan? What do you make of this news? Let us know down in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe if you happen to enjoy the video. There should be another one right there which you can watch right now if you want, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.